Today I'm going to show you how to paint this dreamy sunset sky I made that has purple clouds and a glowing sun. It's easier than you might think, and I'll guide you step by step so you can create your own peaceful scene. Colors, I use phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, medium yellow, and titanium white. So first, I want to mix up 3 pastel colors that will help create that dreamy background for our sky. So I'm going to create a soft light blue by mixing phthalo blue with plenty of titanium white. Then I'm going to mix a light orange using medium yellow, alizarin crimson, and also a lot of white. Finally, I'm going to create a light purple by combining alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, and also white. Alright, so going in with my 1-inch oval mop brush, I'm going to first start by dipping it in water. And then I'm going to go in with my blue at the top. Using circular brush strokes, I'm going to apply it evenly. And going directly into the orange, I'm going to apply that in the middle. And keep in mind that you don't want your brush to be dripping water all over the canvas, but you do want it wet enough to where it's not going to dry up really quickly on us. And I'll rinse my brush before adding the purple at the bottom. Okay, here comes one of my favorite parts. So going in with our 1.25" flat brush, I'm going to start in the blue using circular strokes. I'm not going to put too much pressure, but I'm going to work my way back and forth all the way down till we get to the purple. And once we get there, I'm going to go do horizontal strokes across the canvas and work my way up into the blue. And if you find that your blending isn't perfect, that's okay. But you also can try a trick of fully rinsing the brush, drying it completely, and then doing your horizontal strokes again, starting from the blue, working your way down. But also keep in mind that this technique takes some practice, and it really doesn't have to be perfect because we're about to cover it up with a lot of clouds. Alright, speaking of clouds, our second layer is going to consist of a nice deep purple, and we're going to mix that using alizarin crimson and phthalo blue with some titanium white to soften it. And we're going to go in with our 1/2" dome brush, and we're just going to start laying in with circular motions some big fluffy clouds. And we're not going to add any water to this. We're going to let the paint basically run dry on our brush. And when it starts to run dry, that's the perfect opportunity for some of these wispy, natural looking floating clouds that you see I'm putting here. And then I'm going to go into some more purple and just make another large cloud on this left side, just running off the canvas and using that same circular motion to lay it in wherever I feel like. And this is also a really fun part because you have so much creative freedom. You can really do whatever you want, and that's the fun part about painting. Okay, so once you have your main clouds in, we're going to add a little more titanium white to our purple just to lighten it up a bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and place that at the bottom of our sky, going down towards the horizon. Okay, now here I'm going back into that original purple that we had and kind of laying it just on top of that light purple to add a little bit of depth. Now I'm going to go in with that 1/4" dome brush that I have, and I'm going to choose that lighter purple and just place it along the edges of my cloud with the same little circular pattern, that same technique, so it mimics that style that we have in our clouds. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put some of that lighter color within the larger portions of our cloud very lightly to sort of break it up and make it look more natural. So now I'm going to go in with my 000 fan brush, and I'm going in with that light purple, and I'm just going to add some little floaters around the sides of my big clouds and also some bigger flatter clouds that come off into the middle of our sky. And that really, for me, adds a lot of depth to the sky and some changing variation, which I really like. So here I ended up feeling like there was an eyesore in the painting, like this open space on the left side. So I decided just to close that. And I just went back and forth between the light purple and regular purple, just to get the same effect that I did with the rest of the clouds until I was happy with this part. Alright, so now using that 000 fan brush, I'm going to go in and add some highlights to these clouds. So I'm just adding more titanium white to that purple that we already had. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on the edge that's going to be facing the sun. So my sun is going to be very like smack dab in the center. So when I put these highlights, I'm keeping that in mind. So for instance, the clouds on the right side of the painting, my highlights will be on the left side of those. And the clouds on the left side of the painting, my highlight's going to go ahead and be on the right side of those. And with the clouds along the bottom, I'm going to place that highlight all along the top. And then I also want to come down on these clouds at the bottom and put some more highlight in sort of a second layer. Okay, so now going into our sun and our sky, I'm going to mix up a nice pastel orange. So this orange is going to be a lot brighter than that orange we used originally. So it's going to be mainly white with some medium yellow and just a hint of our alizarin crimson. So going onto the canvas, I'm going to use that number 1 round, and I'm just going to put it in a circular motion. I'm just going to put a circle in the center of the canvas. Alright, so now going directly after that, I'm going to use that same brush and I'm going to blend all around the edge of our sun. And I'm doing this with a damp brush, just using the paint that's already there to blend outwards. Now once I finish blending around the edges of the sun, I'm going to water down just a touch of that orange and I'm going to start putting it a little more in the surrounding areas. And you can use your finger here to blend out some of that paint so it looks a little bit more natural. Alright, now for the final touch, I'm going to lighten up that orange that we have with some titanium white, and we're going to go in and set these nice glowing highlights. And this is really just going to go on the edges of that brighter purple that we have already put before. And you can see that I'm also using my finger here and there as well to blend it out just a bit. Okay, now here I wasn't super happy with the highlight color. I felt it needed to pop a bit more. So I went ahead and blended in a even lighter color, pretty much just adding more white to it and just going in on these highlights. And I feel like that is where it really made a difference. And this is a good little lesson to learn, that sometimes you just need some more contrast and you need to lighten up that color, especially for your highlight. So for some of the final touches, I went in with the number 4 flat brush, but you could have used that round brush that we used just a while ago. And I just wanted to add a few more highlight layers to these bottom clouds. And that's it. I really hope this helps you paint your own beautiful sky. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please consider subscribing. I post new videos every Sunday morning. And if you'd like to see the full time lapse of this finished piece, click right here. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, peaceful painting.